Hello, I'm Kate Stichin. You are watching InstaForex News. Today we will talk about economic situation in Great Britain. The British pound probably started to fall considerably ahead of elections. During last weeks, the pound was not reacting on the political risk, obtaining the support from the part of the strong economic data and increasing difference in the profitability between the pound and the US dollar, the euro and the yen. However, because of the elections set on the 6th of May and due to the fears that none of the parties will have the majority of votes in parliament, the pound is exposed to difficulties, which even more are complicated by the decline in sentiments at the world's market, because the fears concerning Greece still maintain. The signs that this month the pound was supported only by the short-term speculative positions and not by long-term investment flows appeared on Tuesday when the British currency dropped. Though the economic data during last weeks were relatively favorable, since the inflation exceeded the forecast, the latest data probably will moderate the expectations concerning the recovery. In the first quarter, the GDP reached the level which turned out to be by 2 times lower than the expected one. And in spite of the strong data on the retail sales of the Confederation of British Industry, the low amount of the improved mortgage credit points to the fact that this year the house prices will remain unchanged at the best case. In this case, since the Bank of England stated that the inflation will decline again and the economists forecast that the interest rates in Great Britain will be at the low level over the most part of the year or even till the end of the year, then it can mean that profitability spreads again will decrease. This can happen if the US Federal Reserve System will signal about the advance of the US interest rates. Since the elections will be held soon, it is actively discussed the probable development of the situation where none of the parties will have the majority of votes in the parliament, as well as the risk which it can create for the toughening of the fiscal policy. As to the external situation, then the pound is under the pressure from the part of the direct-out negotiations concerning when and how Greece will receive the financing from the part of the European Union and the International Monetary Fund, in order to help it with the debt repayment, which should be started on the 19th of May. Despite the statements of Angela Merkel that Germany will support the assistance package and the euro, the German Chancellor met with a strong opposition within the framework of her coalition. While the risk of the possible spending of the Greek problem on other debtors of Eurozone increases and expansion of the sovereign rating crisis, the investors refuse the risky assets and this damage such currencies as the British pound. I will be back tomorrow with the next release. Goodbye.